On the computer. All right, guys. Welcome everyone. This is a quick session on how to set up our ThinkorSwim, right? Those of you are new to ThinkorSwim, there's a lot of good stuff, right? I think I only use about 5 to 10% that's needed for me, but there's millions of things you could do with the setup, right? I know some of you are looking to do very basic in terms of penny stocks. It's what you see in TradingView or whatever. You could do the same thing on this setup, right? So let me move on to my time frame. Let's see. I'm going to add intraday, daily. Let's say I do 3 minutes or 2 minutes, right? 1 minute is too much jargon. So you guys follow with me, and then we will see what the time frame looks like. So there's multiple way you could set it up, right? But most of it, what happens, it's all can be done within your interface, right? So you have your chart tabs, you have your tools, you have your education, your trade setup here. We'll go through all that once I, finish up the chart here. So what are you looking at here? It's a plain chart, right? There's drawing, there's all sort of good stuff you could do, right? What do you see in other platform or whatever? You see this is a nice gap up, right? This is what happens. But if you look at drawing and all that, you could do always, right click here. So these are the basic stuff you could do for your drawing, like right click, add drawing. You could do lines, you could set up whatever you want, right? This is a nice uphold trending, right? It's right here. I keep it trend line. I could do channels, then you could change it, right click, um, and then root drew as channel. So there you go, you have your channel here, right? So these are very basic stuff on the interface. Now in terms of adding some of the studies, so what you need to do is kind of come onto this tab, right? There's multiple different things. Like I have myself all this set up, right? I have trend, swing, Kettner, FX, day trade, hourly, different strategies. But what you want to do for a lot of your penny trades is if you need volume, right? So you have to type it in VO volume or volume averages, right? That's one of it. And then you could do your vanilla volume here, right? You could do multiple things. You could also do your volume profile on the side. So I'm just showing you where you guys should be able to add, right? So there you go, right? As soon as I added it, it literally popped up here, right? So what you could do, you could change the settings and all that, whichever way you want. So you have to come back to the study again, right? Now you have your volume averages. You could click on the gearbox and play around with whichever way you want. You could change the color here, the width. I like to see darker red, and then I like to see, darker green. That's my thing. I'm just saying, you could set it up in multiple different. I'm just showing you guys an example here, and then hit apply. See how it changed, right? All the color has changed. So what you see here, the blue ones here, right at this word, this is kind of like an indecision, right? It's a fight between a buyer and seller. This is not a straight sell or this is not a straight buy. So that's what the volume is telling you. So once the nice volume came up, look how nicely it started that from here, holding the trend, continue to rise up, keep coming, going, and going straight. So I sold, I think I was at $1.15 earlier. I bought it a couple of days ago at 75 cents. So I kind of sold that off, right? So that's a plain setup. If you guys want to do just volume and your volume average, what the green line you see here, the yellow line, that represents your average volume for daily, right? The higher time frame you go to, you see. So if it's more than average volume, that's a good sign, right? So you want to be able to make those changes here as well to kind of play around with it. So this is your volume average line. That's the yellow line at the bottom. You could change it to red, green, anything you prefer. any colors you like, you could always do that. You could change the width, right? You could make it to 2. You could draw it as that. There's multiple. You could even disable this if you wanted to do that. So this is what, if you apply, right? Look how it changed everything, right? The dotted line. So if you guys need to, just stop me for a second, ask question, and I'll go back to, anything. I'll take a pause every couple of minutes, and then I'll jump into the next easier functions, and then you could play around with it. Anyone? Any questions? Okay. Next up. So I know a lot of people wants to add RSI, EMA, moving averages, daily moving averages. You could do all from the same way, right? What you basically need to do is click on the studies again, and then you type in, let's say, EMA, right? So that's your daily EMA. You could click add selected, that gives you 1, add selected, that gives you 2, add selected, that gives you 3, right? And then here you could add, then you could add, let's say, your view up, right? That's a critical component, volume weighted average pricing, right? So you could add your view up. So that's a way of doing add selected. Now, based on your trading criteria, you could always come back, right? This gearbox is your tool and your adjustment setting, whatever you want to do. So let's say I want to do 9 EMAs, right? DMAs. So I change the number to 9, and I change the color to, let's say, my green. That's my shorter term. And I hit OK. Then I come on to the next set, right? Then I change this one to my 21, which is, a lot of people starts playing this. I keep that as yellow, right? And I hit OK. And then I have my another one, which is my 10. I need to change it back to, let's say, 55, 200, 100, whatever number you feel comfortable, or how you want to change your setting into helping you. So let's say 55, right? And I change it to red because this is a stronger one. So I want to see why I did it, right? So why I did the 9 being the shorter term, I have it as green, right? This is my short term, my green light, my resistance level, and a support level, shorter term. Same thing with the 21, longer period. The length is there counting 21, right, from the previous close. And then this is my longer term, 55 days moving averages, right? So that's something you could do as well. Then comes the critical part of setting up VWAP. VWAP is pretty straightforward. If you don't want to use some of this functionality because it gives you a lot of different lines, you want to have a cleaner look on your chart, right? So let's uncheck this one on the upper band, and then a lower band. That's it, uncheck it. But your view up is there, right? So if you want to do your view up on the dotted line, beautiful. Okay, apply, there you go. So what you have here in the chart is your 55 days as the red one, yellow one being your 21, and then 9 is your shorter 9-day period, right? And this is your view up. So look how beautiful view up play it has been, right? All of it, all of it. Let me remove some of the drawings that I don't need. Clear drawing set. So if you want to remove something, clear the drawings, any drawings you have done, just hit click, and they will say, hey, default, yes, and then it will remove it. So that's your plain vanilla charts, right? With the very basic stuff in it, not a lot of junk inside it. You have your VWAP, you have your moving averages or daily moving averages. You could use exponential. You could use flat out moving average exponential. You could use daily moving average. Anything that you guys feel comfortable with, feel free to set it up in this way, right? So this is very basics in terms of if you're doing day trade, swing trade. A lot of people doesn't even need all that. So what you could do is say, hey, remove study, right? So I clicked on the remove study. Any studies that you don't want, you could always right click it, and then remove, edit, whatever you want to do, right? So that's the one way. Now I posted a video on YouTube that you guys really should watch, how to utilize the moving averages to do your trades for entry and exits, right? That's a beautiful video. I explained a lot of stuff in there. So you could see how, trade could do it. So that's pretty very basic, right? Your view up, your volume averages, your moving averages. Now, if you want to change the style of your candle, which is, right, there's multiple buttons here, studies, click studies. So if you could change it, right, what you need to do is come here, right? Let's say you want to change it to, it says chart mode standard. So look what happens if I change it to, right, it will take you to a monkey bar. Here you go. See, this is the monkey bar style. So this is more from if you are doing a market profile trading. I also have a video on this one, which you could look into how to trade market profile. But um, for us, I think it's, standard. This is what the standards, we want to see volume, our candles, our general stuff is nothing, anything fancy here. Then what you need to do is change on to chart type, right? Here you have chart mode, then you have chart type. Here, if you're a trend trader, right? Trend is our best friend. So what I do is, it says trend here, right? I switch it to candle trend. Look how it's changing it, right? How nicely it's changed. So basically what's it telling us, right? Anything that's red, right? Red and filled, it's sell. Anything that's green and hollow, it's a trend. So this one here, this is an indecision, right? Obviously, it's an indecision, as I mentioned earlier. If you see the blue volume bar, right? This is an indecision candle or whatnot. At the same time, if you wanted, you could change your all this color too. If you want to change it whichever way, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well. So that's one basic part of it, right? Then you could do price last, bid ask, market, anything that you want to do, you could do it here. So I typically trade, I'm a trend trader, so I trade with the trend. So if I want to look at a longer time frame, let's say from 3 minutes to 4 hour chart, look at the difference it makes, right? So it's telling you the trends, right? Each of these are 4 hour candles, right? So they're saying the 4 hour here is a good trend. That means a strong 10, a lot of buy happening. Here, right? Trend is red. Here it's saying it's pushed up a good volume, right? It pushed up all the way. It's a sell day, but it's not red, but because the trend is still running green. So look right here too, right? This is a pure red half of the day. Solid green day, solid green day, like today, for example here, right? It's a hollow and it's a green volume. But if this is filled and green, that means it's a sell day, but the trend is still green. But if that's something you guys want to use, so you could change it back to your regular candle mode. So this is your regular candle, right? Obviously it gives you flat. See how it changed the trend once I moved it from 10 to regular. Look, see, when I said it's a even though it's a sell day, but the candle shows as green when I change it to the trend mode, but it says still a red day. So I'll take a quick pause here for questions, and then we could move on to more fun stuff and how to do a lot of the other stuff. So anyone? Any questions? Hello?
Hey, no, I'm here. I'm good. I'm listening. I'm kind
Okay,
of playing
cool.
with it on my end, so I'm good.
Okay. So the next part, so I'll move on if there's no other questions. So then the next component of it is, If you are interested, so this is your neat chart, right? Like a nice gap up here, right? This is your nice gap up here. You see all that it kind of help, kind of hold. Above VWAP is what we talked about. Here you could also change, multiple different things. If you want to do the style, you could, reset chart, reset default your chart. Anything you want to do, you could go. This is a pretty important stuff, right? So here you have your settings here, right? So if you go to settings here, right, there's multiple things you could do here. You could set up your time frame, your orders, high low bubbles, all that other stuff. But in terms of appearance, right, this is what I was saying. You guys could change the color of the candle, fill up, fill down, show weeks, anything you want to do, you could always change it. So let's say I don't want to see it. Look how it changed automatic, right? As soon as I click the button, right, look, fill, it kind of filled it, right? Boom, change it. If you want your doji to look like, let's say, some other color, it will do that. Border down, it will change it as well. You could change to whichever color you like, based on your taste and your style, or color preferences. So that's something you could always do, here as well. You could change your cursor, which is, right here is this cursor, to, let's say, green, right? And then open here whatever you want to do. We could all play around with this. So this is just more of a cosmetic, type of stuff. And then I think this is important where we want to look at equities, right? What we want to do here is how to set up your, you know price type. You could change it to market, ask, bid, whatever. So display price type is showing you as last right here. You could change it here. Show subgraph, right? What it does, if you move and remove it, it won't show here. I don't know if you guys could see it. Let me just check it up. Let me apply it. See, the subgraph is gone, right? I don't know if you guys were able to see it. Let me show you guys again quickly. Let me move this. You will see on the chart where the candles are, you will see automatic volume bar comes up. So if I click on it, right, apply, you see all the dark ones that came up on the screen. So that's something you guys could do as well if you don't want the volume at the bottom, right? But that doesn't really give you, if it's a buyer, so it's just more from a volume, which I don't, I don't need. So I could just keep it that way as well. Then the next portion is telling you what is it happening here. So this is important. If you guys want to see pre-market, right, you have to have your box clicked as check. What you will do, you will show you extended hour. What you have on the chart right now, it's an open, right? It's just showing market hours, market hours, market hours, right? From one day to another. But if you check show extended hours trading session and you hit apply, it will automatically give you a pre-market, your intraday, whatever you want to do. So you have your extended hour, and then you have your, pre-market, pre-market and after hour as well, right? Then you could do your drawings, your support and resistance here, whatever you want to do. You could do all of it on the pre-market session here as well, right? So that's one of it. This is important for those of you who are trading, penny stocks. What I have, I do different type of trading, so it's a bit of a different setting for me. So let's go back to the setup again, right? Or no, this one here, setting here, right? So you could click on the gearbox, it will bring you back to the previous tab that we were looking at. You could change your time frame, wherever you live, New York, New Jersey, if you live in the East Coast, West Coast, you should be able to do that here on this screen here, right? Can you guys see it? Right? You guys are good? There's a box here. That's your time zone. And this is where you want to set up your equities, right? That shows you the time frame. Next thing we need to do is kind of move on to the options tab, right? Then we could go to options tab. Similarly, what is it doing? It's showing you your option tabs or what you want to see. Your pricing, show open interest, your TO price. Sorry, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just move this from here so you guys could, oh, why isn't it not letting? Okay, okay, okay. So on the option tab, you could leave it as is. It's a default setting. Futures, I don't know if you guys need any futures, any futures traders. It's all the same, extended hour, blah blah, and you have your forex, right? Is the same way. um I think we covered all this, right? Then comes this tab here, your favorite time frame. Here you could set up all your different time frames. So this is factory default up to 3-year weekly and then your 1 minute. In order for you to change some of these settings, you need to click add time frame, or if you want to change the existing one, here I have 1 day, 1 minute highlighted. Just you could click edit, right? And then just play around with it. This is intraday, which is a daily. You want to see 5 day, 4 day, 3 day. It's all up to you how you want to set up. And then your minute aggregation, or meaning your how many minutes you want a candles to be appeared. If it's 1 minute, you click it as 1 minute. So you have all this option to set it up here, right? Which you could do. I have some of mine set up here, like 2 minute, 3 minutes, max time. All can be done within this setting of it, right? This is very basic stuff. It's all within here, and all the time frame setup is in this chart, right? So that's something you guys should be able to do when it's needed. And then you click add. Let's say I change it to 5 day. Let me see, 5 day to, let's say, 10 minute. And then I click add. See how it changed my time frame on top on the left hand side, right? It automatically changed here. So I could add it, do whatever. And then if I want to add additional time frame, I click additional and then I go to longer time period, right? So I have my daily. I want to see max time of SNDL. So I go to max time 20-year, 10-year. I mean, that's taking you all the way back to, let's say, 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, right? So I say max available. I want to see any data that's available and I hit add. So once I do that, and you will see if I hit highlight and hit apply, right? You could change it here, right? Right at this section here on the on the time frame here, and then you could click max daily. So you will show me the entire lifespan of SNDL from the moment it started back in 2019 to all the way down to this date. So each of these kind of represents a day, right? As you know. So this is showing you all the max time, the low, the highs, and all that fun jazz. But I don't usually go that far. I stick to my weekly, my monthly, and my daily charts if I'm doing swing trading and whatnot. So that's a pretty basic setup, right? And then a couple of more important stuff. What's happening here? Still in the gearbox, right? Still in the same setting. What you could do is this is where you want to come in. It will bring up your, the tabs again. We covered most of this section. Now we want to move to more towards your time axis. So these are all the time, right? What it's telling me is my aggregation period is time. You could do range, time, tick, anything you want, but I like time. Interval, you could change it to 1 year, 2 year, anything you want. And it's aggregation period, which we have already done under the, favorite time frame time. So you could just play around with, whatever suits your need. This portion is very important here, right? So what this tells you that amount of bar you could scroll to the right, meaning let's say I have 80 right now. So if I do 500 and I hit apply, I hit okay, you will see what happens, right? So now I could keep scrolling. Oh, let me see, hold on. So now I could keep scrolling, scrolling, scrolling all the way to the right. So I could go up to 500 days up ahead. Do I really need this? Not really. No, it went all the way to year 2021. So I like to keep it short so I could just, play around with my charts as needed. So I'm back on this box again, right? On the price axis, sorry, on the time axis, instead of having 500, I would do, let's say, 80. So I have some wiggle room in between my charts, and then I have room to, move up and down to the right, not too much far into the right. So you see how nice and clean it moves from places to places. So now let me just change the time frame to shorter. So see, you have your extended hour, your pre-market, and then you could just play around with your mouse. It will only take you to 80 clicks, which is this setting, what we are referring to, the time axis. So this is 80 I like. Um, what this one is also important is auto expense to fit corporate actions, right? What corporate actions is, meaning it's, if there's a dividend, if there's any earnings, any news, anything that comes up, it will show up on your screen. So let's say hit apply, right? Let me see if anything coming up. No. So good example. Let's move to BAB. Let's move to Baba, right? So Baba has earning tomorrow morning, right? So what it's gonna do, it will show you what's happening. Let me see. It's a two. Let me go to a daily chart. So look, see, these are the corporate actions, right? These little guys here. If you click on it, right, it says go to company website. It will take you to their earning calls tomorrow morning for Baba. And then they have, you see the little clock here, the little telephone here, that gives you your earning alert. Say, hey, earning coming up. That's what it will appear once you do any of this corporate actions if you want to look at, right? So that's a check off. If I check it off and I hit apply, it disappears. You'll see. See, let me go to, hold on, it didn't really do that. But time axis, you have your corporate actions. Okay. So time frame, okay, looks good. So I guess this is not gonna show, it's shown on the daily only, but if you go to a shorter time frame, it won't show you the corporate actions because there isn't any in the shorter time frame, right? So that's what the overall setup way is, right? And then you have your price axis. Um, I leave it as is, scale as auto, expansion area. You could play around with 20, 30, 40. What it does, it will let you play around with the interface. Not needed, but if you still want, feel free to go for it. Make sure the left axis is on, enable left axis. Make sure this box is checked off right here. This is a good. Oh, wow, this thing is okay. Let me just erase this. Okay, so make sure you have this one on to keep it. And then general is pretty much is a defaulted except your time frame, right? So that's what it does. Now what you need to do is click OK. This is your very basic chart in terms of day trading. If you want to do scalp, whatever. What's also important, it could do if you want to do, let's say, orders, right? Very, very important. If you want to do quick orders, you could come here, right? Application setting, right? What do you need to do in terms of notifications? You could it could add your cell phone number, your mobile number, and text message. You will get straight to your alerts. So let's say if you set up an alert, it will come to your phone. Order default, you could always play around here, right? This is important as well. So let's say if you are a penny stock trader, instead of manually, typing in 10,000 order, you could set it up to whichever number you want. So let's say 10,000, right? That's my default order, and then this portion here, order quantity increment, meaning with each click on the order size, it will increase it by 1,000. You could get into market order, you could do standard, bid ask market, any of it that's good for you. But oftentimes I don't suggest doing market order on some of the stocks. You rather do limits and then adjust it as needed, right? Um, so let me stop here for 2 minutes for any questions. And then we'll move on to more nitty gritty stuff, how to set up your intraday, your day, whatever. Any questions? All right. So similar here, right? Then you have your hotkeys. You could set up home screen, monitor, all that stuff. You could change it here, apply setting, um, zoom in, zoom out. This is a system, defaulted as is. I don't play too much around it, but you should be able to easily play around with what's needed for your quick setup. But this is important if you want to do day trading. You want to have your setup, make sure you always watch it before you send the order, because if you want to buy 500 and then you have it set up as 10,000, then it's a problem, right? You're gonna end up buying almost like you know 10 times the quantity, which you don't want. But this is a way how you could set up um your order limits. That's automatic, so I keep it as 1,000 if I do stocks or whatever. Increment by one click, let's say 500. That's it. And then here with the option, same thing. How many do you want to order? What is your setting? You could do market limit. Option, sometimes if I'm quickly writing, that's why I have it as market option. I just quickly write and boom, I get in. So that's why I have it as, sometimes I do 50, 60 orders. Believe me, I when I go heavy with options, I could go, a lot of big amounts, but this is my default number of options I want to buy at one click. And then default quantity of order. This means you could do one, right? You could do change, whatever. This one I used to have up to, I think, couple of hundreds when I was, going heavy with stops. But now I have it set up as one, right? Um, order quantity increment, same thing with each plus button, it will increase by one number. So if you click that, this one will change to two. But I think that's a pretty standard play around with whatever needs to be done. So I think that's basically it in terms of stocks and options, what you guys need to do, unless you are playing, futures option, all that is, mentioned right at this section. You could play around and do whatever is needed. And then we could see, what's coming. So that's a standard profile. Then you could kind of, apply setting, close out. So that's my, you know, standard setting. Then if you want to add more stuff, right? You could always come to the study button, then you could add your RSI, right? So I like Scotch RSI because it's a lot cleaner. I think it's my preferences. You could do it RSI, Scotch RSI, and I'll tell you why I like Scotch RSI better. And I click OK, right? So what I have here, right? Same thing, but the studies at the bottom, right? Look, this is your Scotch RSI. Very important. If you do not know how to use it, please pay attention or take notes to this, because I'm going to change some setting around it, and it will give you nice, clean entry and exit point setup on this one, right? So let's go back to the study tab, right? Now you have your DMAs, EMA DMAs, your Scotch and your volume. So let's come to the lower studies, right? You click on the gearbox. What I want to do is see what's happening here. Here, I want to change it to green. And here I want to do, let's say, red. And I'll tell you why am I doing this for you guys. Everything else, I am closing this off. I do not want to see too many stuff, right? So I'll do not show plot, do not show plot, do not show plot, and down signal, do not show plot. I don't need all that junk. It's just this one, green, and folk, red, right? So I have this two set up. I hit OK, apply. Voila. See, you have your, so it looks like something going in between. All right, hold on, let me go back to that. Folk ID overbought, oversold. Oh, okay. So sorry about that. So this one, you could change it to yellow. Show plot, I was actually trying to avoid, and this one as yellow as well. So that's the midline between each point. And then it says show plot. What's also important, I don't know how many of you guys play in the 80 range, but I like to play it in the 50 range, meaning anything over 50 is overbought, under 50 is oversold. So if I click this, you will see how it changes. There you go. Okay, you guys see it on the bottom, right? So let me go to 15 minutes. I just want to show you guys clearly. So what it's typically doing is kind of giving you a signal, right? Green represents your buyer, right? This line's here. And then red is your seller. So every time the buyer, comes in from the hit button, right? Look at 11 o'clock. Boom, buyer comes in, pushes up, crosses the seller, right? Look at nice entry point, right? Entry point, entry point, entry point here, right? So that's BABA. So let's go back to our SNDL so you see it on a cleaner way. Look right here, right? All of it here. So you see how each of it is dumping and changing, right? Look here, nice entry point, buyer seller crossed from the low bottom, held it and pushed it up, and the price starts pushing up. Same thing, right? A pullback. You see the green cross the red, boom, we come back down, right? It came down a little bit to this point. Then a cross occurs again into the 50 zone, right? This is 20, 50. It comes here, boom, again. You see it all over your chart pretty clearly if you could follow through right at this point level, right? So that's one of the setup. Some people like to use RSIs. Look, live action happening right now. So let's see what's happening in where is, let's say, customize list again. So now I want, no, I want to cancel. Let's see, I want to edit it to 10 minutes to 2 minutes. I want to see what's my chart doing after hour. So look, see it's still moving. So you could see what's happening here, right? After hour, if you're live, because trading is still going on, SNDO. So it's moving. So look, this is a clean indicator. Hey, exit out, boom, a big buy came in. The buyer took over the seller and the seller is under. So it's always good to see who's in control. That's why I like Scotch RSI. It gives you a more of a confidence over anything else, to say, hey, overbought, oversold. I set it up this way because it's just a lot easier to read, right? As you could see in this chart, I think in any chart you flip back, let's say you look into Apple, right? Oh, I typed it wrong. AAPL. I've been doing that the last couple of days. I don't know why. Okay, so here you have your 15-minute charts here, right? So if you look at daily, what is it telling me on a daily chart? Oh, there you go. You have my nice Fibonacci here. You see what's been happening the last few days, right? Apple was flat. There was no buyer here. Seller was kind of, pushing it up. And then look at what happened. Exactly on the line they met, right? Buyer and seller met. There was a flat even fight. And then seller took over. Boom. They've been dumping it. I think the earnings, since the earning, they start dumping some of these, these shares. Now, as you could see, as soon as you see a V shape, right? You get ready. So, hey, the daily start looking nice. It's a V shape. I want to see if the buyers are taking over. So that's what exactly happened, right? The reversal occurred right at a couple of days ago. So now it start changing. Now it's a buy date, right? So that's what I like Scotch RSI. Um, anything else you guys want to look at? Same process, always come to the study tab and add it here. There's tons of stuff you guys could add it if you want. ATR, DTR, add selected, whatever you want to do, ATR versus DTR. um, I have tons of stuff that I could share with you guys, but I don't know if you guys will be looking into this. But Up to you guys. Apply, and then you will see what's telling me on top. Do you guys see it? Right? The DTR is your daily true range. That means Apple on an average day, right? If you take the days calculated, daily true range is $4.45 versus ATR, which is your average true range, is $4.33. So why it's important? Because it tells you how much expected move is possible within a day or average, either for Apple, either it's for any stock that you want to pick. Let's say, okay, go back to SNDL again. So now it's telling me on an average day, right? SNDL moves 35 cents on a daily average versus an average. So calculation comes in. So it moved about 40 plus cents. So this is something you could do if you are into option playing, or if you want to kind of target your price movement for the next day or so. So that's something you could set up. I will share that with you guys. I think it's already there. Oh wow, look at the volume, right? 223% over. That means that's a higher, very high volume. That's why it kind of ran up, right? Average volume would be on this calculation as well. Now, the final pieces for all this stuff is you come back to the setting again, and then you need to save set, right? This is very important. If you don't set it, it's gonna disappear if you kind of close out your settings and you remove it all. So what I want to do here is, let's say this tab here, right? This tab, all of it, you want to do a save as. Ooh, why is this thing coming so big? My God, I don't get this. No, it should be smaller. Close it. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. All right, so just right at this button, right? So that's where we want to start seeing things and go from there. So what you need to do here, once you have your setting, you could say save as, and you could save the studies as anything you wanted. Name it, let's say short term frame, let's say short, right? You have your short time frame, you save it. In case everything gets removed automatically, what do? Right? You have to redo the whole thing again if you don't save it. But if you save it, it should appear here under set strategies, right? It will come right at this. You click, and then you have your shorts, right? What I just called short. This is my short time frame. You highlight it, right? Or you click on it. It will give you everything you saved. And then what you need to do is use select, right? Everything appeared as is, apply, boom, it's there, right? It comes back again. So you don't have to do it every time. You could change it to whatever studies you add on. I have multiple different, sets that I like to use. And if I want to swing it, if I want to do, my analysis, what I want to do, day trade, hike and ashy styles, I have multiple things. So I look at over time, but that's something you could build up as you start playing with this. Apply, right? That's your standard setting, so it's not disappeared. What you can also do is to set up your workspace, meaning you could always come back to this in case you lost some of your settings, or you want to install at a different computer, you have multiple computer. What you need to do is come to setup, application setting, right? And then click workspace, right? Here you have reset to default, or you have to save workspace as. So here you could type in whatever name you want and whatnot, right? This will give you a name or identity in terms of where you could find your ID. So I'm not gonna save it, but I'll show you. But you should, once you have it, you should click save. So if you have a different computer, you download ThinkorSwim, you should always come here, and then you will see all your workspace here. If you have, let's say, 50 other screens here, doesn't matter. So I'll show you guys an example what I mean by that. So I have this one. This is my daily, right? I have another one which I like to use for Friday, right? So this is my Friday setup. So what happened? It kind of disappeared, right? It's coming back up. If you give it a second, everything will come back up. So this is what I look at on a Friday, right? I have my SQ, my VIX, my trading, my different time frame, right? This is all my scalping, my zero DT setup that I have. It's just the one shot, right? All my screen comes up, everything comes up, what's here, what's good for me, all of it is here. But then on some days, I don't want all that. So what I want to do is go to my setup again, right? Then I have all my workspaces listed here. The one we showed you earlier, which is kind of, let's say here. So your screen kind of disappears and it reopens your setup again. There you go. See, this is a different setup, right? Look, all the stuff will pop up. So you don't really have to manually do everything every day. It's already saved for you right on this section here. So let me just close. I have like 16 different charts open in different time frame. Let me just close this on the other sets. Okay. So what I will do here, I'll just go back to my normal setting, right? This is my chart. You guys remember a few minutes ago, I set up a style that I wanted to trade in and I was showing you guys how to set up. So I have to go back to that, you right click on your screen, right? Let's say, let me remove all that. You don't have any of it. Apply. This is your bare naked chart, right? If you want to quickly go to your studies, quickly do, hey, right click, screen pops up. You have your styles here, right? And you say load style. You could look up all your styles here. I have multiple different when I teach my classes, I have one low time frame, high time frame, long, whatever I want to do, it's all here. um, but in order for us to load the studies, you come here, right? This is all empty. You have your sets that we saved earlier, which is I called short. It's there, and I click use select. So I have all my ATR, my daily EMA is my VWAP and my stuff. So I hit apply, right? It never disappeared. It's always here. All right, guys. So what you see here, okay, so candle trend. So there you go. You could change it to whichever way you want and whatnot. So I'll pause here for a bit and then I'll open it up for more things if you want to play around with it, orders and whatnot. So go for it. Anyone, any questions? I hope you guys didn't fall asleep. Can someone respond that you guys could hear
Yeah.
me?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, perfect, perfect. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so that's the standard setup. As you start learning and evolving, there's ton more stuff I could show you guys here, there, whatever, um, and what I do and whatnot, right? So it's all here. Also, this is a good thing I showed you. So you see how the setup changed, right? Here, this is my ILM trading account. So I have, a bunch of accounts that I use. So this is my ILM, which I use for specifically for ILM trader. So here, if you want, you could change, you could hide your buying power, all that. Like you could make it privacy. What's your net liquid? You could come here and see how many day trades you have, right? On top, are you guys seeing this? So this is what I have for my, for the ILM trading account that I think I was using for a while. I have few others. So you could come here and you could just make privacy, right? It kind of went away. So it kind of blocks out. If you want to redo it, always come here and say, hey, how many day trades do I have? How much money do I have? What's my buying power and whatnot, right? So that's when I was telling, I think the group that, all the money on this smaller account that I play with, I dumped it into Neo, right? So all into holding. So I have about $500 buying power and rest of it is all put um, into my neo stocks. So that's you could always play around with whatever you want. I have bunch of long term. Here you'll see actually, by the way, this is a good point. On top where it says account, you will see bunch of free account here. So I have one do not touch, I have one long swing, and I have one for ILM, which I use for you guys. If I do any call outs, whatever I want to do and play with it, you should be able to see it all in here. You could name it. I have some of it do not touch. That's my retirement account. This is my long swings if I'm taking any positions over 4 months, because I don't want to keep looking at it and let it distract me, right? And this is my cash account, or whatever account you want to call it. You could kind of diversify it in between. So that will give you different views. So here you could also hide it for privacy if you screen sharing whatever I showed you guys, just for the to see what's in it. So that's the ballpark of it. So now let's jump into order from the screen, right? So let's jump into how to do quick orders. SNDO, SNDO, right? So this is the tab. Let's say I do my pivots. Oh, see, my after hour is gone. That's a problem. See, if when I do a setting, I have to save it with my after hour on. So let me see. Time axis, price axis, general, equities, show extended hour, apply, and there you go. So if you come in the morning, if you do your support and resistance, and whatever you want to do as soon before market opens, right? So let's say we put a resistance here, right? I want to do it right here. I want to add a drawing. This is my support. And then this is my support, this is my top, is my resistance. Let's say I just put it here, and I want to do quick orders. If it breaks above or breaks below, if I want to short it, if I want to play around and see what it is. So you could right click on the screen, right, and do your order pretty much. You could zoom into this, and then you could right click, and you should be able to see buy or sell. So what you will do as soon as I hit buy, right, it will give me a default order, you see on the bottom, because I have my order at defaulted as set up as 1000, right? That's why it's going into 1000. But if I want to edit it, right, you should always come to this button here, edit, right? Here is very, very important, guys. I want you guys to focus on this one and to kind of take note with me, because this will get you quick in and out. So what you could do, there's multiple ways, right? So you have your stock, you have your order type, which is your buy or sell, your quantity. So since I said, hey, I don't want, my default is 1000, I could manually change it to, let's say, hey, I want to buy 100. I don't want to buy, 1000. And you change it here to 1000. Symbol here, obviously there's an expiration. Type is what? And this is the most important part that you guys kind of want to start looking into, is types of order, right? This is what it is, right? This is the core focus area I want you guys to come. So you guys have your price. This is your limit, right? So you want to buy it at limit price. Okay, let me remove this point here. So you have a limit order. Then you have your trail stop, right? All these different types of order you have, right? MOC, LOC, you have your trail stop limit, you have your general trail stop, you have your stop limit, you have your stops, and all that. I have a video on this one on YouTube in explaining how some of these order works, and also TD has a very good breakout. I'll send you guys the link to the order type. So typically for me, I want to pay a limit order. Let's say, I'm not looking at a chart. I'm seeing VWAP. Let's say I put my price at VWAP, which is 96.22, right? So let's say this morning I see this is happening. Hey, it's below, I want to buy at the VWAP. So my VWAP is, let's say, 96.27. I want to adjust my pricing. Let's say I do a little bit, higher at 98.98, right? As soon as it hits that VWAP, or the motion that you're saying, it will fill it in at a limit price. If you do market, obviously you could do market order, which will fill you whatever the price at that current moment is, right? So that's your market order. You confirm, you hit this button, confirm and send, boom, it goes, right? It automatically goes. But what's important is if you want to, lock in your profit automatic, then you should always do trail stop. Let's say you got in at $1 at the view up, you got it at 121, right? At this level. Let's say you get in at 93 cents and you want to do a trail stop, either it's 10 cents, right? This is by dollar value, whatever the number is, that's actual digits, right? What you could also do is click here and change it to, percentage, plus minus, and the way it trails up, right? So you could do, $1, $2, whatever number is showing you. You could do it as percentage, percentage move, 3%. What you will do, it will help you ride the profit and automatically do your trail stops, right? So let's say if you got it in at, trail stop at, let's say 90 cents, right? And you want to write it up to $1 to, let's say, this level, right? And you want to do your stop loss at $1. What you should do here, do a percent, right? Whatever percent move you want to do. If you want to catch 5%, 6%, 10%, it's up to you, that you could do. If you want to manually do it instead of percentage, you want to say, hey, every dollar it moves up, I want to do my stop losses. You could say, hey, 50 cents. Does it really move 50 cents? No, it doesn't. Your order won't get filled. So what you should do to lock in your profit, let's say 30 cents, right? So every 30 cents it moves, it will lock in your profit for you. So for example, if you got in at 90, right, somewhere here, and it rolls all the way up to, let's say, 90 to another 30. So that's your $1.20. So let's say if it hits some point at $1.20, let's say at this point, right, in the morning, at $1.20 or whatever price, it will lock you out at $1.20. If it falls below $1.20, it will automatically get you out of the trade. So that's something you don't really have to worry about. That's something you could do, trail stop, whatever. Also, another way you could do is advanced order tab here, right? Where it's a single order. That means this is a single order. Now, what you should be able to look into is a lot of it, right? You have to understand what it means, right? One trigger sequence, one trigger all. One trigger meaning, once, hold on, one closes the other one. So OCO is one closes the other one. Um, Second trigger is the second trigger, that's like altogether 4 orders. One closes out the other, and this is more advanced stuff. So what I typically like to do is I do OC, trigger all, and then I right click on it, right? And I do opposite order. So what it does, you could set up your pricing here, right? As well. What is showing you here that, hey, sell buy 100 with the stop loss at market with 30 cents, right? So that's automatically done for you with your trail stop. Then you won't need all this other stuff. You could just do limit order, right? So now you have 2 separate orders. What it will tell you is you're buying it at 98 cents, right? And then you could do it to, like, let's say, stop loss or trail your stop, right? You could say, hey, if it hits below, let's say 70 cents, right? Get me out of the trade. So that's kind of your putting your stop losses at market order or whatever. So that's a quick summary of the order type, but this is also important, right? Either you do day, GTC, meaning good till cancel. This could be sitting in a queue for a long time. This is EXT, is your extended hour, between 9:30 to 4. That's your regular hour, extended hour after 4 or before 9:30, right? I think TD does it from 7 a.m. So that's something you should be able to do. And this one, same thing. If you want to put an order, hey, I don't want to wake up in the morning. I just want to, when I'm sleeping, if price hits at that price at 98, buy me at the market at this price. GTC. It could be in the morning, it could be after hour, because you don't want to look at your trade, right? It will get you filled when it hits that 98% mark. Also, at the same time, your stop losses, let's say, you got in, you have your stop loss at 70 cents, you have to change this one as well. Same thing, right? So there you go. See, it's telling you extended hour must be limit order, right? So this one you have to do a limit, or you could do stop limit, right? You could change it to a price range. It will give you, let's say from 75 to 70. What it will do, it will get you in that range, get you out of the trade in that range. So once it hits that 70, 75 range on an extended hour, that's when it will stop you out, right? So that's what you could do. And then say play around with it. There's multiple ways you could do things on this, right? But the basic is very basic is, let's say, delete order. You want to do, hey, buy, buy, boom, set the order, boom, send, go. You could set up also, here you have an option where it says auto send with shift click, right? You could always do that too as well. That's a shorter key. Um, and then if you want to short it, let's say you tap here, you just say, hey, sell. So you're selling 1,000 SNDL and you're collecting about 1,140 cents, right? Boom, send it. That's another way of doing it. Then the most important part of it is all these side tabs you have, right? This is very, very important as well. If you want to see active trader, where buyers and sellers are buying, right? What price is hitting by 1,000. They're selling here, right? Sell 1,000 here at the price level. This is your active trader trade. This is very important if you are into trading like penny stocks. This is, I don't really use it for longer, bigger numbers, but this is where I play. Look how many shares was you know traded at this price, which was 121, right? So you have all this numbers. So there's about 27. Oh, that's a lot of shares. I think that's about 27 billion. 930,345,416. Yeah, so this will give you throughout the day, you'll see this number change. Boom, right? It goes from here to here, it goes to pricing up. As the buyer starts coming in, right? The price will start pushing up from here. It will start pushing up, pushing up. You will see all of it. So that's one of this good function where you could see what people are buying or selling, right? How many now? Look, people still actually doing it right now. Look, see right here, right? People buying, selling, right at that number. The number actually fluctuating right now. This is your bid side. Hey, someone's looking to sell 3,196 at 118, and here people are buying it, right? 119, 110. So you have to play around with this to see what the price is. So this one looks like someone wants to sell ask size, right? Someone wants to buy, actually selling size. Someone wants to sell 500 at 138. I think that looks like a stop loss or a stop limit order. So you could see all that on your live data. Um, if you are looking to really play around with it, this is a good way of seeing where the buyers and seller and where the volume is hitting most of the time. See, it's hitting right here, right? Someone wants to buy, hey, 221, you buy it, sell it. Look at the numbers changing constantly here, right? At this level and at this level. So that's something you guys could use as well if you are doing penny or whatever. Um, Another important two, level two. This is your level two data. What level two does for you, right? Active trader, I'm closing. Level two, it tells you, which exchange it's buying and selling, right? Bid size, ask size. So people are bidding right here. You could see these are the exchanges: Accra, Nasdaq, BATS, BSC. All the uh, exchanges listed for you guys here. And this is the bid side of the house. This is the ask side of the house. So if you're buying, you buy here, right? You could also do it here, buy. Just click buy, boom. You could buy it at this price. If you want to sell it, you quickly hit sell at this order tree. That's something you could do as well, right? So all there's multiple way people do things and what they want to do. One good feature also here for penny stocks, right? If you want to see live news, what's happening, you click on this live news button, right? Right on the right hand side here, and it will tell you what are the news, what's happening, why Sundell is moving, what's all that news should come up here. It's by minute, time, hour, whatever, and then you see days that it came. You have the timestamps on this side. So something new came up here. Anything that's related to SNDL, it will come up on this portion of it if you want to look into news. And then you have your, I don't look into all these big buttons, all that. So important things is time and sales, active trader, and you have your level two, right? And then you could trade it. Obviously, you have your trade button. You could activate that right on top where it says trade right here. So if I click, it disappears. If I click again, it appears. So you could do buy market, buy market, sell market, whatever you want to do. You could do it from here. Buy market, boom, your order is here, right? Market price, boom, sell market, your order is here, and you just hit send, right? It's all of it. It's in this interface. You don't really have to move around with it. So look what's happening in the after hour, right? I'm looking at 1 minute chart. So here you go. Here you go. You have your for tomorrow. I want to see if SNDL is holding it, right? So this is a good thing you should learn too. Drawing is a good feature, whatever you want to do, right? If you want to do your supports, in the morning, as this area gets filled up with candles, you want to see what it is. So in what you should do is right click on the drawing and then extend to the right, right? Look at extended all the way to my right. So tomorrow morning, I'll see if it's still holding it or not. So this is the level I put in, unless it breaks below and it and invalids the support, or if it's the this is my, let's say this is my resistance level. I want to do drawing here. You could drag it by yourself, or you could just extend it to the right. It's all up to how you want to play around, right? So you will go as the time gets filled in, you will start seeing more and more time. So if you want to look more into it here, again, remember I said earlier, you click here, you could change your price time axis. You change this to, let's say, 100, apply, then I see more towards my right. I could scroll more easily, but I don't typically look all the way. I don't know, what will fill up here. We'll see when it comes. So I just change it back to my time axis, put it as, let's say, 80 again, back to my old setting, 280. That's it. Apply. Okay, so you guys could see the live action happening right now, right? This is after hour, people still buying and selling right here. It's happening every minute by minute candles. So if I want to see what's happening in the 5 minutes in the after hour, looks like trend is still kind of pushing up, right? To hold that support level, and it's kind of pushing up. Look at the beautiful cross here. Remember, I guess I told you there's a video, very good video I posted on the DMA and EMA crosses. Watch out the video if you want to trend on this as well. Just as an indicator. Um, Aside from view up and all this other stuff, this is pretty simple setup, and this will get you guys going into trading. Anything you want to do in an end of day trading level. Um, and then we could go from on the next round I could go more into advanced stuff for you guys. All right, guys, I'll pause it here. I'll take questions. We are top of that hour. We got a few more minutes, and then we could start chatting about things next week again.
I'm good on my end.
You're good.
Wow, that was awesome. Thanks so much, Syed. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'll do this more often for you guys because not a lot of people are using ThinkorSwim now, but I'm sure we'll have tons of questions as new member, old member. But most of our, traders that have been with us, they all use ThinkorSwim, most of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So,
definitely move into it because like I said earlier, I have the just the regular CD,
hmm
and I went on the website today, and I guess I was able to use like a web version of ThinkorSwim since I already have an account with TD. But
hmm
I gotta play with it a little bit to get to like the settings and everything that you had, just
yeah,
because it doesn't really. I think I have to actually download it to my desktop.
yeah, download it to your desktop, right? And then look into the video, set up everything, and it should work identical on your phone. When you do
Yeah.
this, same thing, it should work identical on your phone.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Yeah, so
I'm
like
gonna,
this is, for example, right? This is my setup, right? When I look
Mhm.
at this is my ref. That's all I need. I do not look at anything else. This has lot, it's not really a lot of stuff. If you look at it, right? It's everything is done for me automatically, right? I have my support resistance, my trend line, my VWAP, my 200, and I have my ref, right? This is because I do quickly go in and out of options. So this is all done for me automatically.
Mhm.
I will be happy to share this with you guys once you guys finish setting it up. ThinkorSwim, and I'll share the script with you guys, and then you will see everything is done for you automatically. You don't really have to touch anything. You just buy and sell. Boom, 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 boom. Right? These are your levels. So look how beautiful this morning SNDL played. Actually, was it on this one? No, I think it's on my other account. I did a level straight flat line, and I was just training right off of that, right off of that. So like resistance, higher support, held it, boom. I got in. I have my entry here. You see, it gave me that nice arrow. I mean, you could play around here if you see it. See, my ref gave me an arrow. Held my support, rebounds, bounce, boom. It went up. But if you see it on a minute chart, right, it's much more granular and detailed. Look how beautiful it is. This is the 8 pulled into the 21, right? This is the 8. Look into this video, you guys will love it. I explained it so many different ways. How does this work, right? The 8 crosses the 21, nicely holding the 8 up all the way as support. Didn't really cross, held up, nicely moved up, right? Here, if you see example, right? 21, the yellow, which is the green one, is my 8. It crossed down, the yellow held up, boom, we are coming down. This is what's coming down here. So I'll share this with you guys. I supposed to do it last night, but I was busy working up the YouTube videos. So I'll post this in YouTube and I'll share the script for you guys as well once you guys ready, up and running. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Hi.
sounds good.
Thank you. Sounds good.
I'm
Well,
sorry. I
you
think
said
my mic.
next week. When exactly did you want to go for the next tutorial video?
Whenever you guys available, majority or by time frame, because I know some of the guys are working now, um and they have conflicts, so I'll probably do, typically I would do it right after market hour is done, because that's when everyone's available. But if people are willing to join, maybe do it after 6:37 or maybe around 8 o'clock. That gives people the time to come home, settle in, and jump into videos.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I think it gives room for people to join and actually learn it real time versus watching the video. Video is just there for everyone to kind of see things and play around, right? So that's what it is.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, guys, thank you for joining. Look out for the video. Feel free to ping me if you have any questions, on Discord or wherever. I'm always available. If I don't respond immediately, just give me some time. Maybe if I'm trading or I'm spending time with my kids, but I'll respond to you guys.
Yes, Said. I have a quick question.
I'm sorry, who's this? Can you say your name? You
This
sound
is Kumar.
Kumar. Yeah, can you come closer? You sound like you're kind of far off.
Oh, is it better?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, can you go to monitor tab? I'm new to ThinkorSwim, playing around, and when you go to monitor tab, when
Mm-hmm.
you want to see your positions, if it is a negative, it is showing in a bracket instead of green and
Yeah,
red.
yeah, yeah. It shows you. It shows you all here. It's not in a bracket, but you could show it on a different. Well, it will show you, right? If you here, it'll show you
Right.
what positions you have, what you have. and all that, your P&L open, your P&L for the day. Good thing that you reminded me. Let me also show you guys. So you could come here, right? You see the
Mhm.
little gearbox?
Yeah.
You could come here and then set it up whatever you want. Your trade price, your quality, your day, your P&L percentage, P&L day. So you could type in, PL percentage here, P&L year, P&L open, anything you want, you should be able to see all of it, right? So let me walk you guys through quickly on this portion. So I have, some neos. It's here. It shows me how much of it I'm down. I had about 500 neo that I closed out and I took some of the money out and I'm just keeping some of it. So it shows here, right? Your trade price, your market price, right at this portion here. It shows what the market changes occurred, how much your P&L open for that current positions, and how much you profited for the day, right? So that's what it shows you. And then you could add bunch of stuff, whatever you want to add here. It shouldn't be any problem. Parse and change, P&L day. I don't really look at my how much money I made on the day, but what I really focus on, I want to see what I made on a percentage wise, because that's how I do my aggregation for all my accounts, right? So I could add that, right? It will tell you, oh no, sorry, wrong one. P&L percent, remove, add. So if I add that, right, you could move it up and you see, okay, right? That's your percentage. That's what I really look at. Everything else, it's there. I see it when I close the trade. So I want to see what the percentages are doing in terms of where we are, why is it down, what it is, and whatnot. So that's what it is.
Right. But my question is here: if you are down, is it possible to show in a red font? And if it is you are up, a green font, something like that.
I never used it, but I think it should be. Let me see. It shows on the mobile, right? It shows on the mobile the one.
Right. I like that way. I'm trying to see if I can do this here.
I think let me see if I remember correctly. I never used that. I don't think
Yeah,
on this one you
profit.
could do.
He's right. When you're like usually profiting for the day or for whatever range,
Uh-huh.
it's usually in green, and then if you're at a loss, then it shows you in red,
Yeah, but
and the
it's on the
colors go
mobile.
back and forth.
On the
Yeah,
mobile it does, but not.
yeah, on the
I
phone,
haven't seen much of it on this setting here.
on
Unless
the
I
program itself on the desktop.
yeah, desktop on this when you look at monitors, right? When you look at the monitor tab, I don't know if it's gonna show you. Maybe there's a way I'll have to find out, because I always look at it on my phone. But if I'm looking at charts, I don't really pay attention to my monitor tab. I just see, what's happening on my phone because I'm so good at using a phone. I go quick in and out.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I keep it as. But I will find out. I think this one it is. Since I have it on privacy, I have to see. I think you could move it on option and then oh no, that's not gonna give you that option. So I just have to find out and I'll let you guys know if the color changes in here. Let me see. No, it's not showing me here. I don't know why. Why? It's not showing me any of that on this one here. Yes, I'll find out and I'll let you guys know if I have anything on this one. All right.
Hey, thank you.
Yep. No problem. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good one and I'll post the videos. Thank you.